2022 Porsche 911 GT3. Is this the greatest sports car that you can buy on the market today? That's what we're going to find out. Welcome to Car Corner, where we help you, the consumer, master the process of car buying and car ownership. For today's video, we're going to do something quite a bit different from my normal routine of SUVs, hybrids, and car buying advice videos. We're going to go for a drive in the 2022 Porsche 911 GT3, which I suspect might just be the greatest car that you can buy today. Now, I know calling this the greatest car that you can buy is quite the claim, but in this video we're going to go for a quick drive and see if we can find out why that just might be the case. Now, for those who know, the GT3 is an incredibly special car, and Porsche has only loaned it to me for this afternoon, so I'm going to try and keep this video as raw and authentic as possible and try and share this experience with you, so sit back and enjoy the ride. And if you enjoy this video, make sure to subscribe to my channel. I post 2 videos a week, always straight to the point, valuable car buying advice designed to help you, the consumer. The GT3 is arguably the ultimate version of the Porsche 911, which is already one of the greatest and most iconic sports cars that you can buy on the market. It represents all of Porsche's racing engineering and expertise brought from the track onto the street, because this is essentially a road-going version of the GT3 Cup racing car. And all of that racetrack experience applies to almost every single component of this car, especially with the engine, which is arguably the greatest part about the GT3. The engine is a naturally aspirated 4-liter flat 6 producing just over 500 horsepower. This is essentially a hand-built, high-strung racing engine with exotic components like individual throttle bodies for every cylinder and solid lifters, all of which helps it achieve a red line of 9,000 RPM. And what exactly does that sound like? Well, take a listen. Wow, that is absolutely incredible. Mind-blowing that a car like this can sound that incredible. Okay, I have to process that because that was pretty amazing. I don't think I've ever experienced that in a road-going car, at least not in a car in this price range. This is as good sounding as any Lamborghini or Ferrari or McLaren that I've ever driven, and it's nowhere near as expensive as any of those cars, so pretty incredible. The sound is probably what differentiates this car the most from any other 911 that you can buy. This is the only naturally aspirated engine in the Porsche 911 lineup, which makes this a very special car. The only thing with it is that because it sounds so incredible and you have to really ring it out in order to enjoy that intoxicating exhaust note, you have to be going at some pretty scary speeds, so you definitely need to be very careful with this car. And not only does the GT3 have an intoxicating sounding racing-inspired engine, but you also have one of the best gearboxes to match. You can get the GT3 with either the PDK paddle shift transmission or the one that I have here, the standard 6-speed manual. And if it were me, I would be going with the manual all day long. This car really feels like it was made for a manual gearbox. With its analog feel and engaging nature, it really does feel like the perfect fit for this car. Now, obviously this car would be faster with the PDK transmission, and that is the preferred gearbox for the track. But for everyday driving on the street, the 6-speed manual is the one to have. I think it's the perfect drivetrain combo for an everyday road-going 911 such as this, as is the touring package like the one that I have here. You can get the 911 in either the standard version with the giant rear wing at the back, or you could go for the touring package, which is essentially the same car without the rear wing. And although I do see the appeal of having that rear wing, especially out on the track, if it were me, I would be going for the touring package, no question. I just really like that cleaner, more classic 911 look. I just think it suits the car perfectly fine. But whether you go for the touring package or not, this is essentially the exact same car underneath the skin. Now, obviously I can't begin to drive this car anywhere near fast enough on regular roads to appreciate the handling that this car is capable of, but even at normal speeds you can still feel the precision, the sharpness, and the balance. It's all just really incredible. It's an incredibly analog and somewhat old school driving experience, but one that's also very capable. This is probably one of the quickest track cars that you can buy today. but then one that you can also drive home and have a blast on a regular road. Now, even though this is a street car, you can definitely tell that it was engineered for the track first. It is quite loud on regular roads, there is a stiffness to the suspension, and with these race bucket seats like I have here, it's not exactly the easiest car to drive for very long road trips. Now, even though these racing buckets would be really nice out on the track, if I were buying a GT3 for myself, I would probably just be going for the standard seats, which have a lot more adjustability and are more comfortable for every day. But aside from that, the rest of this interior is absolutely incredible. The build quality is amazing, all of the materials are very high-end, and it has this really nice clean feel to it. The infotainment system is the same one that you'd find in pretty much any other 911. It's very user-friendly, has amazing looking graphics, and is very responsive. And you also have this incredibly feeling steering wheel and this really nice gauge cluster with your center mounted tach, which looks really cool. It's a beautifully designed interior and just a really nice reminder that this is not just a stripped down purebred track car, it's also a really nice high-end luxury car too. But I think the one thing that's perhaps the most interesting about the GT3, even more than the incredible driving experience, has to do with the pricing and the availability, because it's just so different from almost any other new car that you can buy, even any other new Porsche. The GT3 has a starting price around $170 US or around 180,000 Canadian before options, but don't let that pricing fool you, because finding one at that price, or just finding one period, is pretty much near impossible. And I'm not even referring to the normal industry-wide car shortage with extremely long waiting periods. No, I mean, it's not about just waiting a long time to get one of these. Even if you're able to buy one, you're not guaranteed to get an allocation. I've heard stories that dealers only sell these to customers who have already purchased 2 or 3 other Porsches first, and even then you're not guaranteed to get one. It's an incredibly exclusive car, and it's not uncommon to find dealers selling these for double the original MSRP, which is pretty incredible. So in some ways, this car might just be the absolute best value that you can buy for a brand new car, because if you were to buy it, you're pretty much guaranteed to never lose a dime on it. I think it's pretty incredible that in today's day and age of increasing emissions concerns and the electrification of vehicles in general, that cars like this are even able to still exist. Cars like the GT3 have roughly a decade or so before they become extinct entirely, and I think it's great that we're able to enjoy them while we still can, for those who at least have the means to do so. I really wish I had the means, because I'm telling you, if I had the money for one, or if I was at least able to get an allocation for one from a dealership, which I'm not able to because I haven't purchased 2 or 3 Porsches in the past already, I would for sure have one of these in my driveway right now. I honestly believe this is the greatest driving experience that you can have in a modern car. So I really hope you enjoyed this drive with me in the GT3, and thank you so much for sticking around until the end of this video. I know it's out of the ordinary for my normal routine of SUV comparisons and electric cars and car buying advice videos, so thanks again. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you need any additional car buying advice, recommendations, or help with getting a great deal on your next new car purchase, make sure to check out carhelpcanada.com. Thanks again so much, and see you next time.